Hey everyone, welcome to the Amplify Digest. I'm your host, Lars Schmidt, and I want to open this episode with not an article, but I want to shine a light on a really great practice, I think, from Spotify. So for those of you that didn't realize this last year, they announced a new work from anywhere model. And in doing so, they actually redesigned their career site to create more of a almost a choose your own adventure type approach that highlights what workplace flexibility means for Spotify employees. And it gets into FAQs and so much more. So for those of you that are redesigning your career site for this new kind of hybrid world that we're in, this is definitely one you're going to want to check out and reference. This next story is a really great piece by Growth by Design Talent on tips for recruiting leaders and recruiters on interviewing and things that they should be, questions they should be asking, things that they should be looking for to help them gauge whether these companies are the right opportunities. And obviously, in this market right now where recruiting is on fire for recruiters, there's some really practical tips here that actually transcend just recruiter interviews. I think if you are interviewing for any leadership role, particularly in the people space, there's some advice here that will really help you gauge how the organization will be approaching recruiting, how they will be supporting your role, and how they'll be resourcing you in order to be successful. So this is one you're going to want to check out and probably bookmark. I want to spotlight this summary. So David Green is one of my go-to people in all things people analytics, and he has a tremendous newsletter that he puts out on LinkedIn every month spotlighting some of the top people analytics articles, resources, podcasts, etc. from the past month. And it's a goldmine of information. This is going to make you smarter by reading this. And so it's a free newsletter. Check out David Green if he's not on your radar. He absolutely should be, but you definitely want to subscribe to this newsletter because every month it's just packed full of resources, articles, and things that will help you get smarter in all things people analytics. This McKinsey piece was also really interesting write-up on some surveys that they've done recently around what's happening in the great, whatever you want to call it. One of the really interesting statistics that their recent reporting kind of went into a bit more is that of people that have quit their jobs in the last year, up to 31% of them are doing that to actually start new companies. And so you're seeing a lot of people, we talk about this kind of great realignment, great, whatever we want to call it. Much of that is people moving to new roles, but actually a good amount of that is people leaving to pursue their own entrepreneurial pursuits. And so it'll be really interesting to see what the economy is going to be looking like as we continue moving through this and more people do go out on their own to start their own business. And the makeup of our workforce will be different because of that in the next several years. So this piece illuminates that a bit more and definitely worth your time. Some of the really key elements that employees are looking for are things that are probably no surprise to us in HR. Workers value a sense of belonging. They want to feel empowered, and they want companies to be better at setting work-life boundaries. And again, I think these are all, many of these are kind of societal elements that have shifted due to the pandemic and just the way that many people have really recalibrated their expectations of both work and life over the last couple of years. And so, again, more data behind this in the piece. Definitely recommend you check that out. And this other article from Harvard Business Review really gets into is we're all in this new kind of hybrid construct. It sheds a little more light into kind of what that means from the technology side and the importance of tech to facilitate all aspects of that. And it's not just working remotely. It's not just how do we, coordinate async, though those are big components of it. It's everything from upskilling to reskilling to recruiting to, almost every aspect of the employee experience, particularly in these hybrid arenas, needs to be and is optimized by being tech enabled. So this piece goes into that a bit more, and especially for any of you that are making the case for investment on the HR tech side, this is going to be one you're going to want to share with your CFO. Hopefully get a green light for some additional investment in your HR tech stack. So that's a wrap for this week. We'll be back next week with next week's recap. And in the meantime, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and I will see you next week.